The Romans. Who the Romans? So-called Italian Caucasians, who were the superpower of earth. They were ruling during the time that the Mashiach Yahushua walked the earth. And the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation. And they did. They did this. Not at this time. But Mashiach Yahushua warned of this. It happened in 70 AD. And one of them named Caiaphas, but that's what they were afraid of. The Romans coming and taking away both our place. Their place is what? Their position and nation. And their position over the Israelites. Their reputation. And one of them, named Caiaphas, being the high priest that same year, said unto them, "Ye know nothing at all, nor consider that it is expedient for us that one man should die for the people, and that the whole nation perish not." Talking about a Mashiach Yahushua dying for the 12 tribes of Israel. And this spake he not of himself, but being high priest that year, he prophesied that a Mashiach Yahushua should die for that nation. And not for that nation only, but that also he should gather together in one the children of the Most High that were scattered abroad. That's why you see in James 1 and 1, it says to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greetings, brethren. So the books are talking to the 12 tribes of Israel. Then from that day forth, they took counsel together to put him to death. See? They took counsel together to put him to death. Mashiach said, "Therefore walk no more openly among the Jews." See? He had wisdom. He ain't walked no more openly among the Jews, but went thence unto the country near to the wilderness, into a city called Ephraim, and there continued with his disciples. See, he went to another location. He didn't walk openly among the Jews, knowing that they wanted to kill him, or knowing that they wanted to get him. Wicked Israelites. That's who he was dealing with. Let's look at some of them. Go to Matthew, the book of Matthew 7, I'm going to look at verse 15. "Beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves." See? A lot of them, they come in sheep clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves. They're not dealing with this truth the way they should be. And loving Jacob, as the Most High said, they ravening wolves. Look how they talk a good talk, but they really that's why it tells you in 1 John 4 and 1, try the spirits by the spirits, whether they're of the Most High. What spirit you're going to use? You're going to use the spirit of the Most High through his word and see the reaction of them, whether or not they're the Most High. You reject whatever it is that he said. You ain't of the Most High. You say, everybody know you're the spirit of the Most High. Every spirit that confesses that the Mashiach Yahushua has come in the flesh is of the Most High. Every spirit that confesses not that he come in the flesh is not of the Most High, but that spirit of anti-Mashiach. And there are many in the world today. Paraphrasing. Right now, then and now. So if you can't get over the fact that Caesar Borgia is a lie, that so-called white image that they painted of Jesus Christ, that's a lie, then how are you going to go any further than that? That's why he said, "Beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves. You shall know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes of thorns, figs of thistles? Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit." You hear that? So, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit. And women need to hear that because the fruit comes from the seed of the man. But a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. So a corrupt tree is going to bring forth evil fruit. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit. Hear what it said? A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit. Neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. So either you come from a good tree or a corrupt tree, one way or the other. I mean, this is point blank. And what we got to look at is telling us in Matthew 5 and 17. Well, let's look at 60. Ye shall know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs of thistles? No. Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit. So if it's a good tree, it's going to bring forth good fruit. But a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. So if they corrupt, and the man's seed is corrupt, the man is corrupt, he going to bring forth evil fruit, just like himself. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit. So a good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit. Neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. You got to see what he's saying here. If you come from good stock, then you can bring forth good fruit. You come from bad stock, when the man is bad, you're going to bring forth evil fruit. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit. Neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. Every tree that bringeth forth, listen, every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewed down and cast into the fire. You ain't going to try and be righteous and coming back to the law, such commandments. You're going to be hewn down and cast into the lake of fire, because your name not going to be written in the book of life. Wherefore, by their fruits ye shall know them. By their fruits you shall know them. You see? You're going to know them. Verse 24. Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine, and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man, which built his house upon a rock. You know, the foundation, the cement that they call it in, but it's a rock. Builders, you're a wise man, you're going to build your house. Foundation going to be upon a rock. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and it beat upon that house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock. See, when the wind come and try and blow it down, it's not going to be able to blow it down, because it's founded upon a rock. The foundation is upon a rock. And everyone that heareth these sayings of mine, and doeth them not, shall be likened unto a foolish man, which built his house upon the sand. Foolish man that built his house upon the sand. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon that house, and it fell. And great was the fall of it. See? And it came to pass, when the Mashiach had ended these sayings, the people were astonished at his doctrine. For he taught them as one having authority, and not as the scribes. He taught them as one having authority. He was an austere man, stern and hard. What do you think? He made a whip and whooped their butts out the temple on the Passover, selling up there in the church and so forth. That's our power. That's my power. But see, some of you ain't ready for that, because you taught that this love doctrine, this love and compassion for everything is forgiven. No. It's not like that, people. You better wake up. He coming to judge and make war. He ain't playing. Some of y'all think lightly of a Mashiach Yahushua. You better recognize it. Look at Matthew the 18th chapter. Verse 1. It says, at the same time came the disciples unto Mashak Ebershai, saying, who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? So why would you care about who's the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? Why don't you care about how can I make it to the kingdom of heaven? No, they want to know who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. Listen to what he said. And the Mashak said, called a little child unto him and set him in the midst of them. He called a little child to them and set him in the midst of them. And said, verily I say unto you, except ye be converted. I mean, you got to be changed. Become this new creature, be born again, become a new man, a new woman. You be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. Now what is he saying? Because a child is innocent. A child is like a sponge. They can take in all this and live by it and run by it. This is the law. This is the law. This is what you got to do. Because they learning. They just learning everything that's been in the world a little few years. You can teach them. That's why I tell people, that's why it's hard to tell you, it's hard to put new wine in old bottles. So I look at these things and say, okay, wow. You can't be that way. But you have older people, you can't bring this into them because they still been indoctrinated and programmed by the world, because it's going to bust. They're going to bust. They're not going to be able to take it. Because they're so used to doing everything the way they think it should be, especially if they're coming from a religious type of background. It's hard for them to see the truth. But you hear what he's saying? Have you done this? No. People don't want to do this. That's why he called it young people. That's why he said he brought a little child before him. Because they ain't converted to the way of the coach. That mindset, how they would have you to be. They're not converted to that. Little child is learning everything every day. If they're intelligent, they'll be able to learn. That's why he said you got to be like a little child. Ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, because the child is innocent. He said, whosoever shall humble himself, as I've been saying for some time now, as this little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven. That means if you prideful, you are going to be thrown in the lake of fire. Straight up. That's just the way it is. It's like that. That's the way it is. Most I give you clear understanding in His word concerning. And it's, you know what's sad? When people don't even realize that they're prideful, when you have to show them and correct them of their wrong. They'll look at you like you're prideful and doing what you're supposed to do. Because most I said you got to correct them or their blood going to be on you. That's why I said rebuke them sharply, that they may be sound in the faith. Concerning your pride, Ecclesiasticus 10 and let's look at verse 7 first. Pride is hateful before the Most High and man, and by both does one commit iniquity. You hear that? Pride is hateful before the Most High and man. Verse 11. For when a man, verse 12, Slucky, the beginning of pride is when one departed from the Most High, and his heart, which is your mind, is turned away from his maker. So you don't think about the Most High. You think about this day, Sabbath day, is the day of the Most High. We're going over His word. We're going in this Bible looking at His word. What His word says. It's His day. It ain't our day. Ain't my day. It ain't your day. It's the Most High's day. So when you turn away from allowing this to be his day of rest, that he gave us to have rest, then you're prideful. And you dealing with turning away from the Most High, because you can't be the Most High if it's about you. That's why he said not even doing our own words on his holy day. You got to be very careful what you're saying on the Sabbath day. And you think you're going to make it to the kingdom? You got to be very, very cautious. I mean, it's only so much time that we have, people. He's coming like a thief in the night. You're going to catch a lot of people sleeping in darkness. Supposed to think they're in the light, but they're going to be sleeping because they're not going to realize how serious this is. And how serious it is, the cry that's going out to our people to wake up and change. You heard what he said. Except ye be converted in Matthew 18:3, and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. This is what he say. Whosoever therefore shall humble himself, which is contrary, opposite of being prideful, as this little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven. Now, Mashiach was humble, but he still was austere. This is a balance of everything. You know, he wasn't going in there like a little woman when he was whooping their butts, turning over the tables and whooping. You see, he coming back with an effeminate type of spirit. Women think the man supposed to be like a woman. Nah, he was hard, stern, bold, reaping that which he didn't even sow. How you think he went up to the Pharisees and dealt with them? Call them hypocrites. He dealt with our people. Ecclesiasticus 10, verse 12. The beginning of pride is when one departed from the Most High, and his heart, your mind is turned away from his maker. Your mind turned away from the Most High if you ain't dealing with the Most High and it's his day. So you ain't think about the Most High on his day, then you ain't dealing with the Most High. For pride is the beginning of sin, and he that hath it shall pour out abomination. And therefore the Most High brought upon them strange calamities, and overthrew them suddenly. See? But see, everybody will think in their own way that you're prideful because of the fact that you correcting those that don't understand spiritually how we're supposed to be in order on this day. It's his holy day. Look, it's not nothing that I'm making up. This is sincere. But it's more attention to other things besides him. Isaiah 58:13. This is all about us, the children of Israel, knowing how we're supposed to serve the Most High and serve each other. Point blank. That's all the law is about. How we love the Most High with all our heart, mind, soul, and strength, and how we love thy neighbors thyself. How we love each other as the Israelites. This is what he said. Isaiah 58:13-14. If thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day. You hear that? My holy day. My holy, that's the Most High's holy day. Not ours, but his holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight. It's supposed to be delightful. Not looking at coming with the things that you deal with every day. No, this is a day of rest. Mashiach said, my peace I give to you. If you have his peace, you please the Most High, going to make your enemies be at peace with you. You're going to have peace on this day. But you call the Sabbath a delight, the holy of the Most High. Honorable, you got to be honorable. And shall honor him. Hear that? Honor him. honor him. Some of you don't know how to honor him because you never left the mindset of dealing with wherever you came from. To know how you got to change spiritually, not carnally, because your emotions and all that stuff going to lead you straight to the lake of fire. He said, this is his holy day. He said, and shall honor him, not doing thine own ways, nor finding thine own pleasure, nor speaking thine own words. So we're supposed to speak the words of the Most High, just as it is written. This is his holy day, the Sabbath. And when you do this, take away yourself from this, then you say what he said gonna do. Then shalt thou delight yourself in the Most High. And I will cause thee to ride upon the high places of the earth, and feed thee with the heritage of Jacob thy father, for the mouth of the Most High has spoken it. Who was making mean something different? He said just what he said. This is my holy day. So this is what you got to consider in how you conduct yourself on his holy day. He said peaceful, man. I mean, this is a day of rest. This is a day, I mean, we got enough struggles you got to deal with in life. And some people have, that's why I say you have to do a self-examination. Because if you got all these problems and you can't relieve all these problems, you haven't given it to a Mashiach Yahushua. You haven't followed the orders of what this Bible says. Because if you bring it, that's why we used to have an old saying, leave all your hanks and your problems out the door. When you come in here, we come in here to serve the Most High and the Mashiach Yahushua and bring this word. Bring his word. Especially on the Sabbath, this is his holy day. You just heard what he said. So what we feel, who cares? It's about how the Most High feels and how he sent his prophets that were filled with his Holy Spirit to bring forth the word to us in these last days, and we could be worthy to be our names written in the book of life. Most High will. Other than that, what's the point? Our feelings don't mean nothing to the Most High. He has no respect to persons. I don't care who you think you are. He has no respect to persons. He has respect to Israel, to we as a nation of people, and the elect, and those that he have chosen to be part of the one of a city and two of a family. But recognize he made us all from three men, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, Noah's sons and their wives. Come on, better wake up. That's why he said, Matthew 18:4, whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven. The child is innocent. You know, I tell you, anyone that knows me, you know, I had to learn from brothers that were 15, 20 years younger than me. Humble myself, though I did a lot in the world. Humble myself to learn. You know, it's like some of you. You gotta sit back and stop acting like you know everything and listen and learn. We all learn from each other. We know in part, we prophesy in part. Instead of beating down a brother, especially you see somebody going through something, you just want to beat them down or just neglect them. Whew. Out of sight, out of mind, or you dealing with just feeling a certain way that's contrary to the way we should be as a people. A kingdom divided against itself shall not stand. He said that. So when we going to come together? We're always talking about Zephaniah 2:1, gather yourselves together, O nation not desire, before the decree bring forth. We got to gather together. We got to at least be able to be there for each other. Listen, and whoso shall receive one such little child in my name, Baal Shalom Mashiach shall receive as me. As you have humbled yourself and you receive one of these little children that are operating in the spirit of a Mashiach. They are Mashiachim. Ain't none of y'all talking about we Mashiachim. You better read 1 Corinthians 3:23. And Mashiach is the Most High. So if you understand certain things, you better get to it. Because he coming back. He ain't coming back for no novice. Now when he's talking about one of a city or two of a family, you better understand and recognize this is serious. Listen what it says. But whoso shall offend one of these little ones, which believe in me, you know who believe in the Mashiach Yahushua because you hear his name over and over again. You don't. You ain't confessing them before men. He ain't confessing before the Most High and the angels because he said it. But whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were caned about his neck, and that he was drowned in the depth of the sea. That sound like a lot of love to you? That's the Mashiach Yahushua speaking the words of the Most High. See. Verse 10. Take heed that ye despise not one of these little ones, for I say unto you, that in heaven, in the fourth dimension, their angels do always behold the face of my Father which is in heaven. For the Son of Man is come to save that which was lost. See, how think you? How do you think? If a man have 100 sheep, a man got 100 sheep, and one of them be gone astray, does he not leave the 99 and go up into the mountains and seek it that which is gone astray? Seeking that one sheep is gone astray? Got 100 sheep and one of them is not around? He going to the mountains to find that one sheep that went astray. And if so be that he find it, verily I say unto you, he rejoices more of that sheep than of the 99 which went not astray. He'd be glad to get that sheep back into the sheepfold. That's what he's letting you know. That one sheep is important. Even so, it is not the will of your Father which is in heaven that one of these little ones should perish. See? Verse 15. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. So he's supposed to be between him and you alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. If he hear you, you gain thy brother. But if he will not hear thee, it's the orders. Then take with thee one or two more, that in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word may be established. So you take 2 or 3 witnesses that feel the same way that you feel, and you better make sure you run it all down to them. Because I done had times when brothers went, 2 or 3 witnesses, next thing you know, they in the circle. They was wrong, off. They ain't laid it all out before they went there. They could have been corrected, went to the brother, you tell them this, that, and the third, you go to your 2 or 3 witnesses, you break it down to them, they might counsel you to let you know, okay, well that's right or wrong. But if you're right, and you take the 2 or 3 witnesses, it says, but if he will not hear thee, verse 16, then take with thee 1 or 2 more, that in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word may be established. And if he shall neglect to hear them, after 3 of you in his face telling them, tell it unto the church. That's telling it to all Israel. But if he neglect to hear the church, let him be unto thee as a heathen, man in the public. Let him be as one of the Gentiles or the other nations in the public. Verily I say unto you, whatsoever ye shall bind on earth shall be bound in heaven. Whatsoever you shall loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. So that's very important to see. Whatever you bind on earth, the decision that's made is bound in heaven. When you operate in the righteousness of the Most High, living righteously, and whatever you loose on earth gonna be loosed in heaven. Again I say to you, that if 2 of you shall agree on earth as touching anything that they shall ask, it shall be done for them of my Father which is in heaven. For where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, see, in the name of the Lord and Savior, there am I in the midst of them. See? So, he talks about the kingdom. Where is it that he's dealing with just these other nations? He's mainly dealing with Israelites over and over again. Look at Matthew 18:23. Therefore is the kingdom of heaven likened unto a certain king, which would take account of his servants. And when he had begun to reckon, one was brought unto him, which owed him 10,000 talents. So this one servant owed the king 10,000 talents. But for as much as he had not to pay, he had no money to pay the king, his master commanded him to be sold, and his wife and children. He couldn't pay him, so he said, sell him and his wife and his children and all that he had, and everything that he had, and payment to be made. So sell everything he had, his wife, his children, everything that he had, that payment could be made. The servant therefore fell down and worshipped him, begging him, saying, Master, have patience with me, and I will pay thee all. Then the master of that servant was moved with compassion. He done fell down begging him to have mercy on him. Then the master of that servant was moved with compassion and loosed him and forgave him the debt. You hear that? He had compassion and forgave him the debt. It's the kingdom of heaven, he's saying. But the same servant went out and found one of his fellow servants. Now, he don't owe anything. And he owed him what? 10,000 talents. He don't owe anything. But the same servant went out and found one of his fellow servants, which owed him 100 pence. Now he owed him 10,000 talents. He only owed him 100 pence. And he laid hands on him and took him by the throat, started choking him out, saying, pay me that thou owest. Now he don't owe nobody anything. The king done forgave him all that he owed him. He went out and found somebody that owed him 100 pence. Start choking him out. Say, pay me all that you owe me. And his fellow servant fell down at his feet and besought him, saying, have patience with me, and I will pay thee all. Same thing he did with the king. Fell down, pleading with the king. The king forgave him all that he owed, 10,000 talents. This man only owed him 100 pence. And he would not. Hear that? He would not. This after he'd been forgiven all that he owed. And he would not. But winning, cast him into prison till he should pay the debt. Cast him into prison till he could pay the debt. After he was set free, he was going to sell him, his wife, and his children, and everything he owned to pay back the debt. And the king forgot all of that. He forgave all of that. And he went out and found somebody who owed him 100 pence. And treated him like this. Cast him into prison till he should pay the debt. So when his fellow servants saw what was done, they were so sorry. And came and told unto the master all that was done. Then his master, after that he had called him, said unto him, O thou wicked servant, I forgave thee all that debt, because thou desired me. Should not thou also have had compassion on thy fellow servant, on your brother, your Israelite brother, even as I had pity on thee? Even as I had pity on thee, I forgave you all that you owed me, and you owe me much more, way more than 100 pence. And his master was wroth and delivered him to the tormentors till he should pay all that was due unto him. So likewise shall my heavenly Father do also unto you, if ye from your hearts, with your minds, forgive not every one his brother his trespasses. See? Can't get no simpler than that. What he say gonna do to those that don't forgive their brother their trespasses? Verse 34, and his master was wroth and delivered him to the tormentors. Gonna be tormented till he should pay all that was due unto him. See, these are the things that we're looking at as far as understanding how he broke it down. Look at Matthew 19 and 27. Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? So we done forsaken everything, man. Peter had a house. He had footage of his house. He had a nice house during that time. A wife and all that. He said, we forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? And the Mashiach said unto them, Verily, truly I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, powers and authority, 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. So you're going to sit on 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. How do you get by that if you're a Christian? Judging the 12, oh, that's right, you're a spiritual Israelite. No, Romans 9:1-5, cancel that out. It said Israel according to the flesh. So he told them they're going to be sitting on 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. And everyone that have forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, by Shama Mashiach Yahushua, in the name of the anointed Savior, shall receive an hundredfold, and shall inherit everlasting life. But many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first. Hear that? Many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first. So you want to make sure that you're part of that last to be first. As it is written. He goes on to talk about the kingdom of heaven. For the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that is an householder, which went out early in the morning to hire laborers into his vineyard. I talk about this all the time. He went out early in the morning to hire laborers to labor in gathering the children of Israel together. In other words. And when he had agreed with the laborers for a penny a day, he sent them into his vineyard. So the wages they're going to get is a penny a day. Sent them into the vineyard to work. And he went out about the third hour and saw others standing idle in the marketplace, and said unto them, Go ye also into the vineyard, and whatsoever is right I will give you. And they went their way. Right? So 3 hours later, he went out and got others. He told them to go work in the vineyard. He going to pay them what is right. Again, he went out about the 6th and 9th hour and did likewise. So they've been working, some are working 6 hours, 9 hours. And about the 11th hour, he went out and found others standing idle, and said unto them, Why stand ye here all day idle? They said unto him, Because no man have hired us. So ain't nobody hired us to work, to labor. He said unto them, Go ye also into the vineyard, and whatsoever is right, that shall you receive. So they say, whatever is right, that shall you receive. This is the 11th hour. So these cats been in there 11 hours, 8 hours, 5 hours working. Here they come to the 11th hour. So when even was come, the master of the vineyard said unto his steward, Call the laborers, those that were working in the vineyard, and give them their hire. Pay them their money, beginning from the last until the first. Beginning to the last until the first. The last was the one that came in the 11th hour. And when they came that were hired about the 11th hour, they received every man a penny. They came the 11th hour, they received every man a penny. But when the first came, they supposed that they should have received more. And they likewise received every man a penny. They've been working all this time. The pay was the same. And when they had received it, they murmured against the good man of the house, saying, these last have wrought but 1 hour. They ain't worked but 1 hour. And thou hast made them equal unto us, which have borne or carried the burden and the heat of the day. We're working all day long. You know how Israel is. Complaining, murmuring. That means they're complaining. And we work, how they gonna get the same pay as we are getting when they only worked an hour? We've been out there slaving for 12 hours. In the burden and the heat of the day. Verse 13, but he answered one of them and said, friend, I do thee no wrong. Did not thou agree with me for a penny? Take that thine is, and go thy way. I will give unto this last, even as unto thee. Is it not lawful for me to do what I will with mine own? Is it lawful for me to do what I'm going to do with my money? Because remember what he said. Verse 2, and when he had agreed with the laborers for a penny a day, he sent them into his vineyard. When he had agreed with the laborers for a penny a day, he sent them into his vineyard. Right? So here they trying to map out a new way that how he should pay them. And when he had agreed with the laborers for a penny a day, he sent them into his vineyard. They agreed to work for a penny a day. So listen what he said. Verse 14, take that thine is, and go thy way. I will give unto this last, even as unto thee. Is it not lawful for me to do what I will with mine own? Is thine eye evil because I am good? So the last shall be first, and the first last. For many be called, but few chosen. That's serious, people. That's like, I look at this as far as everything that we're looking toward in the future to receive is everlasting life. So some been laboring 30, 20, 15 years, some more than that. Still laboring. They're going to receive the same benefit of those that are last. But if you have the same mindset, like some of you have the same, I've been in this so many years, so what? You hear what he just said? That cuts out all your years. Hear what he said? So the last shall be first. He gonna call them in first. And the first last. For many be called, but few chosen. See? Few chosen. That's why you can't be uplifting yourself about how long you've been in. Because someone that's coming in that don't have to go back to looking at the spirit that was on the men of old, which the spirit is given more since them that they didn't bring forth. I can show you. I can play the best that can be played. And you see that at this time we have more that the spirit of the Mashiach, which the spirit of the Most High, has brought forth to enlighten those that are newcomers coming to the truth, that they don't have to go back to the basics. But some of you will go back to the basics of what we were taught, and knowing that more of the spirit has been brought forth, enlighten us to higher understandings of the spirit of the Most High, through the spirit of the Most High, to be able to allow these that's coming in that will pay attention to be able to go to a higher spiritual level. That's why he's talking about the kingdom of heaven. You can't accept it, hey. Maybe you're not one that's chosen. Better accept it. Because what more do you want than eternal life? That's what he's talking about. The kingdom of heaven is eternal life. So just because you've been working a long time, we've been working a long time, you have those that's going to come in, that's going to learn this, and be in the right spirit of humility, and that's pride. That was pride what you just seen right there. I mean, I've been out here and just been laboring all this time, man, and you hear brothers say, oh, I know I got my seat in the kingdom, but I say, what seat is it? Which one is it? What number are you at 144,000? Since you know it, what number are you? Scripture say, dare not make thyself one of the numbers. Say the righteous scarcely gonna be saved. How you gonna be saved? You got the wrong attitude. Better change and repent. And become that new creature, that new man. You've been the same way all the time. You've been the truth. You better recognize that's not gonna work for you getting into the kingdom. What you think it is, it ain't what it is. Matthew 22. And the Mashiach answered and spake unto them again by parables, which is riddles, and said, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a certain king, which made a marriage for his son. So the king made a marriage for his son, and sent forth his servants to call them that were bidden to the wedding, and they would not come. He said, come on. Mashiach is ready to bring forth symbolically Israel, which is the bride, symbolically. And the Mashiach is the bridegroom. He goes into it by the time you get to Matthew the 25th chapter, about the 10 virgins and the bridegroom, which is the husband, or the man that's getting ready to marry the wife, symbolically. Verse 2, Matthew 22:2. The kingdom of heaven is like unto a certain king, which made a marriage for his son, and sent forth his servants to call them that were bidden to the wedding, and they would not come. Say, hey, come on, this is the way to the kingdom. This is the way to everlasting life. They didn't want to come. Just like it is today. Everybody got an excuse. Again he sent forth other servants, saying, tell them which are bidden, behold, I have prepared my dinner. My oxen and my fatlings are killed, and all things are ready. Come unto the marriage. So I done killed all the animals. It's going to be good. You know you love to eat. Come on to the wedding. Eat good. But they made light of it and went their ways. One to his farm, another to his merchandise. And the remnant took his servants and entreated them spitefully and slew them. Yeah. Killed them. Took his servants and killed them. Isn't that what Israel did to the prophets? They killed them. Remember, Mashiach dealing with what? The law and the prophets. That's what they did. They killed them. They had to go and do whatever they had to do for themselves. Go to the farm and go to their merchandise, make sure they get their merchandise up so they can sell their merchandise and so forth. Verse 6, and the remnant took his servants and entreated them spitefully and slew them, killed them. But when the king heard thereof, he was wroth, and he sent forth his armies and destroyed those murderers and burned up their city. Then said he to his servants, the wedding is ready. But they which were bidden were not worthy. It's ready. He said ready. He said I'm ready. He said it's ready. They that were bidden were not worthy. Look what he said. Go to hold that. Get Revelation 3 and 20. They that were bidden were not worthy. He said, behold, I stand at the door. Revelation 3 and 20. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him, and he with me. He said it's ready. That's what you're reading about now. To him that overcometh, so you got to overcome. Will I grant to sit with me in my throne? His power and authority that the Most High has given him. Even as I also overcame and have sat down with my Father in his throne. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit said unto the churches. See? Who's that Spirit? Mashiach Yahushua. Most High told us in Hebrews 1 and 2, he's going to speak to us in these last days by his Son. That's the Spirit that's speaking to us. So now, going back to Matthew 22 and 8, then said he to his servants, the wedding is ready, but they which were bidden were not worthy. See, hear what he said, verse 7, but when the king heard thereof, he was wroth, and he sent forth his armies and destroyed those murderers and burned up their city. They killed the servants that he sent to bid them to the supper that was prepared and ready. Then said he to his servants, the wedding is ready. The they which were bidden were not worthy. Go ye therefore into the highways, and as many as ye shall find, bid to the marriage. Go to the highways. As many as you find, bid to the marriage. So those servants went out into the highways and gathered together all as many as they found, both bad and good. And the wedding was furnished with guests. Hear that? They gathered both bad and good. And the wedding was furnished with guests. And when the king came in to see the guests, he saw there a man which had not on a wedding garment. And he said unto him, Friend, how camest thou in hither not having a wedding garment, not prepared in the righteousness of the Most High, keeping his laws, statutes, commandments? He was speechless, couldn't say nothing. He was on the spot. Then said the king to the servant, Bind him hand and foot, and take him away, and cast him into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth, for many are called, but few are chosen. See? So, he letting you know, you can't come into this, without your righteousness clothed. The righteous clothed with righteousness. Verse 15, then with the Pharisees and took counsel how they might entangle him in his talk. See? How we gonna catch him in his talk? What he's saying. It's our people. This ain't no other nation, this is our people. The